Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews, and this is Generation X Politics. And we've taken a time machine back to 1994. In case you're wondering, Charlene kind of went nuts with the flat iron because she thinks I'm a little black girl and wants to mess with my hair and mess with it. So, so we're doing this today. Sorry, I've been off for a few days. Been a bit under the weather. Today's my birthday, and I always get a little funky around my birthday, emotionally and melancholy wise and otherwise. So, for those of you who've been following my Narcissism channel for a while, you guys know what the deal is. So, I will say this. I'll give you some quick updates. I did find out that my father's sister, Adrian, my Aunt Adrian, the one he's been in competition with for 70 something years and lost 65 years ago and just never realized it. And here's some irony for you. Now, Adrian, if you remember, was the sister, was my my father's the oldest in his family, and then he has his younger brother Kenny, was like a year and a half younger than him, who's my godfather. And then came Adrian, who is the oldest of the three girls and the middle child. And, you know, and I think she's like 3 years younger. Well, no, yeah, she is 3 years younger than my father. About 2.5, 3 years. So, and this is the woman my father's been in competition with since childhood, My father basically ran his brother. Adrian ran the other two sisters, Lita and Tina, who I've talked about. And that competition carried on later on into life. This constant competition where the cousins were pitted against each other. Yeah, and again, this is a competition I have talked about that my father had lost 65 years ago and just hadn't realized it. But what I was never able to put my finger on, okay? What I was never able to put my finger on is this battle between my mother and Adrian. And I've talked about the battle. I've talked about the hatred, the backbiting, there's a constant competition between the two. Constant competition between the two. But what I never actually put my finger on, and I should have, running this channel, doing what I've been doing for so long, what I never actually put my finger on is that, how son husbands marry a version of their mother? Okay, a lot of these, this is how the pattern keeps going. Well, that's not what my father did. My father married another version of his sister. Because my mother and Adrian can cause the exact same type of chaos when they enter a room. Now, Adrian couldn't do it, never did it to me, because I didn't see her enough. I wasn't around her enough for her to do it to me. She would just be outwardly passively aggressive to me. Like, one of the stories I've told was at my graduation, or my brother's graduation, and I was already working with Macy's, and I was just store detective at the time, and I was talking to my friend about the future and even moving down to Florida then. And I remember talking, I'm like, yeah, once I hit 50K, I could pretty much go wherever I want and transfer any store I want in the country. And Adrian, this was Adrian in a nutshell. She turns around and looks at me deadpan. She goes, "Who's gonna pay you $50,000? Fuck you, cunt!" Right there. Right there. See, I always took her as just an aggressive cunt towards me. See, what she used to do with the rest of the family that she could control, my cousins and my father's entire side of the family that my father was trying to get control of, trying to be king shit of, but she was king shit of the family. Okay? She would just dictate like my mother would do. See, my mother would just be outward chaos, just constant, just drive you fucking crazy. Adrienne was this passive aggressive comment here, comment there, just constantly hitting you and hitting you and hitting until she got her way. See, I guess she was a lot more like my mother than I thought, but I never saw it. See, I got all these descriptions years ago from my cousin Kristen when she's like, she makes people cry, can't deal with her, she like just breaks down at the sight of Adrienne because of what she does. It's the same type of chaos my mother would cause. It's the same exact type of chaos my mother would cause. I never saw it because we rarely saw that side of the family. We only saw them on like Christmas Eve and Easter. That was about it. And maybe a party in the summer. A birthday party, like a group birthday party. I think my brother was included because he was a summer birthday. Like mine was never included in the shit. I've talked about that in other videos. So, my mother and Adrienne had this competition for decades. Hated each other. Carried over to Erin and Kristen and my cousin's daughter Maddie, where I caught Adrienne basically bullying Erin at like 5, and I lost it. I lost it, and I grabbed my father. I'm like, get your sister in check, or I'm going to. So this is what was going on. And obituary pops up from July. It's Adrienne. Adrienne died in July, I guess, after an illness. She had a stint of breast cancer about 25 years ago, and she survived it, and so now here's the funny thing. Now here's the funny part. Now Adrienne hated my mother hated Adrienne. Everything was a competition between the two. All these two women did around each other is compete. And then the entire ride home, the entire ride there, 4 days after the scene, my mother was like, fat fucking Adrienne this, fat fucking Adrienne that. Her stomach sticks out further than her fucking tits do. This is going on and on and on. Like this was decades. Here's the funny part. This is not funny. People die. It's not. I'm not wishing death on anybody here. Okay? I'm not. But all this competition between these two women. My mother died at 71 years old. Adrienne died at 71 years old. My mother died 22 days past her birthday. Adrienne died 20 days past her birthday. My father, this is how interconnected I think we are as humans, and this whole where you're repeating the same cycle over and over and over again with different people. Not only were these two women exactly alike in nearly every way on this earth, both borderline personality disordered, sociopathic narcissist, with a desperate need for control. My father is in competition with his sister in his entire life. Then basically marries just a a hotter version. Because look, my mother was good. My mother was a good-looking woman. Like, she just was. Adrienne looks like she worked in a fucking tank factory. You know, like, she looks like an old German man. She always has. You know, she looks like she was building fucking Panzerfausts or whatever they were called. You know, that's just. So my father just married a hotter version of her sister, and these women were so fucking identical. They lived nearly the exact amount of days on this earth. My mother beat her out by 40 hours, something like that. I mean, like, you could, like, wow. Like, do we really even have a choice in this world? Like we do. But you have to understand, unless you break patterns, you are going to be sucked in by the exact same type of people who have been fucking ruining your life from the get. These two women who were in bitter competition with each other for decades, lived identical lives, and literally nearly lived the identical amount of days on this earth. Literally, they're literally could be carbon opposites of each other, like copies. But like, my mother's hot, and this one got hit in the face with a tank. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. That's the problem with my father. Look, you know, and that's the other thing. Look, it's my birthday, and I'm going to say what I want right now. Look, I've talked about this. My father's a fucking geek. Like, let's just put it out there. My father was a geek. He's just tall, like just one of these big German friggin' geeks. And he comes from a family of weird geeks. And he caught my mother on the rebound, and he was on the rebound, and he caught some friggin' nut job, like some nut job who was hotter than any chick he could ever imagine getting in his fucking life, okay? And my mother knew it. My mother knew she was fucking better than him. She knew it the entire time. But thanks to her mother and how she was raised, and we know, and I'm not fucking excusing her fucking abhorrent behavior in any way, shape, or form. But I'm realistic to know, like, dude, you manipulate like my father. Like, you had no business being with someone like my mother. None. Let's just face it. Because as good looking as my mother might have been back in the day, okay, if she hadn't acted exactly like your fucking sister, you probably wouldn't have fucking ever been interested. And she would never have been interested in you. You fucking weirdo, you fucking creep. Ugh, you married your own sister? Gross. Like, gross. Like, the more like, ah! Bad enough you marry, like, for some reason. I don't know why I don't have a sister. Like the mother thing. I'm just so used to dealing with the mother thing, and that's gross enough to me. But your sister? Your fucking sister? You married another version of your sister. Meat. For those of you who don't know, Meat is my father. Ugh. So identical. So identical. They live nearly the exact amount of days on this fucking earth. Like, I mean, there's coincidence. I mean, and there's just too much for it to be like coincidence. It's just weird. So, you know, I'm dealing with some stuff right now, you know, and I always get like this around my birthday. I don't know why. I just do. Like, it's been since we moved. Today's the 10-year anniversary that I've been in Florida, too. We moved down here on my birthday, and, 2010, November 15th, 2010 is when we moved into Miami. You know, those of you know, like I moved down here so I could be away because there were threats being made. If I was going to continue to try to see my daughter up there, they were going to have me arrested. They were going to end up, and like those of you who followed my channel, you know the deal. And you know the struggles I've had with, you know, that situation. So, which has been better as of late. So, and I'm hoping it stays that way. You know, so. I guess that's my quick update. I'm going to be doing some political stuff later coming up this week. Don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. Every day Trump does not concede is every day that the media loses control, is losing their grip. I told you, every day past last Sunday is downhill for the left, and it has been. Okay? Let them go out and riot. Let them go out and beat people up. Okay? Nobody's been confirmed. Nobody's been confirmed to anything. To anything. And all they're going to do is keep driving more and more public support to Trump. And I'm going to talk about that. I'll talk about Sidney Powell's comments about releasing the Kraken. I think this Dominion thing is huge. Okay? I'm not going to get too in-depth into it here. So, Charlene does want to take me out to the diner for breakfast. So we're going to do that and spend the day. Channel's been pretty slow during this week. Thank you to everybody. If you didn't get a thank you from me, I'm sorry. My email's just been messed up. If you didn't get a thank you from me, it was overlooked. I'm sorry. But thank you to anybody who has contributed and has kicked in for the channel to keep it going. I really do appreciate it. I could really, really use some more support going forward. I could use some stories. I mean, it's been a pretty slow week, and that's understandable with everything that's going on with the election, and people are tied up. I haven't really been feeling well. You know, I've been going through my birthday shit. So, but understand, you know, I brought up this thing with Adrian and my mother, you know, not to gloat that anybody's dead. I mean, just to show you, if you don't change what you're doing, you're just going to keep bringing in the same type of narcissist and the same type of behavior over and over and over again. And you're never going to heal. So, that's my birthday message for today. All right, everybody. Again, channel could use support. You guys know what to do with the links in the description box. Thank you to everybody who's set up monthly recurrings as well. They always help out too. So if you want to set up a Skype, a phone call, a private video, open for that as well going forward for this week. Political videos as well, releasing the Kraken, Dominion, anything you want to talk about, you want an opinion on, you want to get out there, you guys know what to do. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. I'm Ollie Matthews, and this is 1994. Later.